Talk to me about these tutorials,
Oh,
tutorials
yes.
that you do on Instagram. I love these.
Thank
These caught my eye
you.
when you started doing them. They're essentially like 60-second, like really quick pacing. You're talking about a certain subject. There's a lot of B-roll that comes in.
Mhm.
It's very like fast moving. But just tell us more about those because I think they're really effective,
I really
especially
appreciate
for
that.
someone scrolling through a feed. It's like, okay, 60 seconds of content. Here you go. Yeah.
So tutorials is mainly Instagram video series that I started a couple years ago. And the reason why I wanted to do them, honestly, was because I wanted to practice my editing skills.
Oh,
Because I
great.
didn't have any at the time. And as you know, when you're in media nowadays, you got to wear many different hats to be valuable
Right.
in many ways. So I sat there and I thought, well, what do I want to talk about through these videos and what's going to excite me and motivate me to do them consistently.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, I have a lot to say. I do have a lot of opinions, and a lot of the things I have to say has to do with mindset and self-belief. Because my growing up, it was my dad really that talked to me about it all the time. He always stress the importance of just having a positive mindset no matter what, and especially in this freelance game and in media, it's important to do that. But I think it's important to do that nowadays when everyone's kind of a self-starter in their own right, and there's so many discouraging moments that can happen. And so tutorial is a 60-second video concept. I would release one either every other week, and then it was every other week, and then it graduated to once a month, just
Yep.
for time's sake. And it was just me offering 3 pieces of advice on one given topic, whether
Great.
it's
Yeah.
confidence, whether it's ignoring the haters.
Big. That's big.
It's a big one,
Yeah.
especially on social media. And so I'm so glad you brought it up because I'm working on new ones for this year. I took a break for the past 6 months because I really didn't feel like I was being true to myself.
True to yourself.
Tutorial. Yeah. You got it? You get it?
You must love that. The fact that that's your last name, like that works so well for you, like
It
for
works.
any kind of segment.
It does.
True this, true that. Yeah.
Like, is it a little cheesy? But I'm going to run with it.
I'm all about the cheese.
I'm
And I'm
cheesy.
allergic to dairy, so that's saying
Oh
something.
my God. Mike, we would be great friends in a geriatric home. Yeah. I'd eat all your cheese. It'd be
Yeah,
great.
exactly. You can take it all. The fact that you're freelancing for the last 5 years or so now, like the steady work thing is big. So I'm sure you know a lot of other freelancers in your life, whether they're friends or just former colleagues, people in the business. A lot of very talented people sometimes have trouble getting steady work. I'm sure you've had these conversations with people. You might have been that person one time in your life as
Yeah.
well, right? So what would you say to like people who are, coming out of university and are attempting this freelance type of lifestyle to get their foot in the door in certain places where it's like you may not get the steady work, but you just got to keep proving yourself, right? Like,
That's it.
what do you say to them?
I think it's just really important to stay relevant this stage. Like you said, there are so many freelancers out there. A lot of freelancers in the city I know, and they're incredibly talented. I would say a handful of them have moved out of the city to find more opportunities.
Yeah.
Because they don't think there's enough out here. There are more than enough out here, and I have discouraging moments all the time. Like I said, you can be really busy or you can be really slow, and that can have a huge impact on your self-esteem, your self-worth, and just really like how you value yourself. You're like, nobody wants to hire me. Like, I must suck. And that happens as a freelancer. But one of the biggest things I think for me in finding continued success in some way is staying relevant. And how do you stay relevant? It's by being active on, let's say, social media, because that's the easiest way to get in front of people, right?
Yeah.
And I understand that being consistent on social media really isn't for everyone. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
There's, that quote unquote vanity involved that people are uncomfortable with.
Right.
But you do what works for you. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, is that it's like that old adage where people say, should we wait for that to go
Yeah,
by?
sure.
Okay, sorry.
We're actually at the airport. No.
Yeah, we're catching a flight after.
Yeah.
Portugal. We're going to Portugal.
We're going to Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That old adage, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always say in this day and age, it's if you don't show, they don't know. So,
Fair enough.
you know, so it's not about, gloating about what you're doing or being like over the top narcissistic about who you are. It's really about just continuously talking about what you know, what you believe in, telling people what you're doing, showing them what you're doing. So even if you have a day off and we're shooting something like this, show them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're capable of doing this. You're producing content on your off time. That means you can produce content for me next weekend if I really needed you.
Exactly.
So
Right.
it's staying relevant is really important.
I think that's the perfect piece of advice to end things here. I can't thank you enough, honestly. There are many compliments I could give you, but I think one of the best words I think to describe Bridget here, impressive.
Oh,
Honestly,
Mike,
you
that's
do
so sweet.
fantastic work, and I
Thank you.
appreciate you coming on the show.
I really appreciate you having me. It's been so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you.